Welcome back, Chalky Milk Gang Podcast, Season 3, Episode 5, the 23rd overall episode of this podcast. We're back better than ever. We got the usual trio here today, and, I think this is going to be a good episode. We all voted in this election that, happened yesterday. We are actually filming this the day before the election, so I think this will be an interesting one to look back on. But this was recorded the day before the election. The election happens tomorrow, but you're viewing this the day after. So it's going to be an interesting time. We're going to talk about what it's like to vote for the first time, but, our just overall election predictions, because it's going to be a big one. And, obviously we have the usual trio, and you know what that means. We have some chocolate milks to review. It's the Chalky Milk Gang. So, we just got to bring back the fan favorite. Who wants to go first?
No, I'll go first. I have a milk that Tyler and Alex, you both already tried, and I saw it, and I was like, I gotta give my opinion.
Ooh, there you go.
The double chocolate Nesquik.
Oh,
the purple boy. I do like how it's purple. I think it's kind of cool. But let's get a taste. It's been a minute since I had the normal Nesquik, so I don't have much to compare it to in terms of that. It smells like the Nesquik powder, like aggressively.
Okay. It's probably not a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Fine. I was expecting it to taste worse because I thought you guys said it tasted like way too chocolatey.
We did get pretty negative reviews, yeah.
I think it's like fine. It's inoffensive.
Yeah.
Nesquik, so it's like okay.
I think regular Nesquik is better than that, but that's not a big step down. It's interesting.
I mean, in terms of texture, it is like, not the best. I don't know. I'm going to give this 7-0. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I would see this and be like, yeah, I'll drink that.
It's good to drink what's good, you know what I mean? And that's definitely solid.
Yeah.
I could see myself drinking this whole thing if I was like, if I really want, maybe half of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It says thoughtful portion, half bottle. I think
there you go.
Yeah, dude, sometimes you just really need chalky milk. And if that's a decent chalky milk you got on hand, then like you go for it.
If you really want chocolate milk and they only have a double chocolate Nesquik, you're not SOL. You're like, that's fine. I'll have that.
It'll satisfy your needs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I do declare.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What you got?
So I've been reviewing a lot of local brands lately, so I decided to go back to something a little more national. I got the Hershey's milkshake.
Oh,
we've been talking a lot about like chocolate cake milkshakes, that type of thick thing, and this is definitely going to be thick. I'm excited. I'm a little, I don't know. We'll see. It's Hershey's. Anything that has Hershey's on it, I get excited from. A big Hershey's chocolate fan. But also this says milkshake on it, so I'm expecting something really thick,
Mm-hmm.
Decent. It says chocolate on it too. It's a big deal.
There you go.
Better be good.
Ooh, it has the thing that you gotta do. There you go. Yeah. I don't really know what that's called. Yeah, the thing.
Like a seal.
Seal. The seal, yes.
Saugatuck seal.
Greens Farms giraffes.
Oh wow. That's really good.
Really?
That's really it put me off with the flavor at the very beginning. I was a little worried going into it because it's a little bit of Nesquik vibes with the first flavor, but it's so thick. Like when they say creamy chocolate flavored milkshake, they are not kidding. It's really thick and really chocolatey, and I love both of those on paper. But I'm also a little skeptical because it tastes a little like Nesquik.
Is it better than the sum of its parts? That's what you got to ask yourself.
It is really good. You can tell it's got the Nesquik flavor, just very basic Nesquik vibes, but everything else is like really good. Like, I like this. There's no other way to put it. It's thick. It's what was it? It's got a lot of flavor on it, a lot of meat to it, and it's really chocolatey. Yeah. Oh shoot. This has got to be in the 8s somewhere, but it can't be the last one.
Ooh.
That's high rankings.
I'll give it an 8.5.
8.5?
That's high.
Dude, that is a big review.
Where'd you get this?
I got this at Star Market. I'm sure they have it somewhere. This is
Okay.
Hershey's creamy chocolate flavored milkshake.
Seem,
Very
seems like it's a local variety, so we're gonna have to
Yeah,
go to
Hershey's
Star
is a
Market.
local brand, right?
Yeah,
you have to come
specific
to
specific to Star Market in Boston University.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Tim, what you got for us?
Yeah, I had to revert back to a classic here. It's the UMass Downing chocolate milk. It's Maple on Valley. It says fresh, local, natural, Hadley, Massachusetts, and then I think somewhere else it also says New Jersey. So it's a 2-state action, and you have to love and respect that. 2 states, just working together to create. Oh, I forgot to show the pour, but I did get a lot of chocolate milk in the pour. So you sort of do have to respect it. It comes in a great bottle, great local packaging. You really feel like you're getting it right out of a farm. And we've been preaching a lot of cow appreciation on our Instagram page. I think it's important to just respect the cows and to thank them for creating such a great product. So we're just gonna dive right in.
I would also like to say that I made the troubling discovery that the grocery store that tough students go to, especially in the area that I live, it only had Fairlife chocolate milk and then almond milk chocolate milk.
That's awful. Oh my god.
No chocolate milk from that store. Got this from a CVS.
That's not good. Come on, Tufts.
Mm-mm.
You gotta be better. This is excellent. Like I just chugged it down because it's that good. It's great. It's a 9-1. I already said this before in a previous podcast because it's the facts. If you're in Hadley, Massachusetts, or just in the country, you gotta head to Hadley, Massachusetts, and just get yourself some of this sort of stuff because it's a great time and you can't really miss with that type of stuff. So, just really thankful to have the opportunity to drink that today.
When we all go home for break, can you bring some of that?
Yeah, I'll have to put it in a cooler.
Yeah,
and then
get a cooler.
Yeah, we gotta make sure it doesn't go bad. You gotta keep it good and fresh. But if we can all bring back our local varieties, and then just be able to just mix and match, compare, we can really provide great content for the people.
Well, NPC could be a
little
short
NPC local varieties.
Hell yeah!
Shout out to UMass Dining. I went to UMass made a new dining hall. They renovated Worcester Dining Hall. They took down the old one, built up a new one. I went to it yesterday with some of the boys, and it's a great experience. So just want to give a little quick shout out to the UMass Dining situation because it's just number one in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out them.
Yeah, no, you gotta it's important to state the facts. But just excellent reviews right there. Really great analysis. Love the analogies and just the overall expertise and the no rookie scores. But we gotta get right into the meat of this episode. Just get right into the thick of things. This election, it's gonna be kind of intense. There's clearly 2 sides, and no one agrees with each other. If the country's more divided than it's ever been. But I feel like we're all coming from similar perspectives, so this will be a more chill conversation. But we all voted for the first time, and we have opinions on
who's going to be a political conversation.
Yeah, not really.
Disclaimer, not really going to be that.
More just chill vibes.
Yeah, chill vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know about you guys. It's not the first time I voted.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I mean, in the presidential election.
It is that.
Yeah, I voted absentee ballot for the midterms or whatever in 2018.
Yeah, I was home then, so I just walked. It was cool. My voting place was a block away, so I just walked over there.
That's nice.
I didn't know anybody's names. It's guess I'll just go all blue because whatever. So this is the first time voting where I kind of knew something that was going on.
Yeah, I tried to do my research before I voted for any of the candidates. One thing I was really excited about, Will Haskell. He went to Staples High School, our high school. So shout out, Roll Wreckers. But he was on the ballot for state senator or something for a district. Senate, so I had to sauce him a vote because he just seems
gotta finesse the kid.
Yeah, shout out.
It's homegrown.
He was a Staples Players alumni, so it's just involved guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was around the age of my sister. I think a year.
Yeah, I looked it up. He's 24, so he definitely has some time left.
That might be the same grade as my sister then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good
That's what
for
I was gonna
him.
say. He's like our age, which is the real like cool part about it. Like he he graduated Georgetown, and then he was like, you know what, like I'm just gonna run for state senator, and he like did it,
Yeah,
and
and
he
he
got
won. He
Georgia.
beat the incumbent by like a pretty good margin, and like the incumbent was there for a long time. So it just shows like, what people can do if they just put their mind to things. It's exciting.
Yeah, the kid got endorsed by Obama.
He
So
did. He
Really?
did.
I did
Yeah,
not
yeah,
know
he
that.
did.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Good for him.
Good
There
for
were
Will
like two
Haskell.
kids in our grade who ended up like volunteering for his campaign and stuff, even though they couldn't vote themselves. Kids underneath us as well who were like 16 when he ran. Like they all just were like, you know what? No, we're gonna help out anyway. Um, and then when he finally did win, he had like he had a like his like campaign celebration at a restaurant in our town called the Little Barn, which I always think.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
I've been there.
good food. Recommend it.
Yeah, I was in the diner, like in the Sherwood Diner, which is our local diner one time. I was just sitting there. I think maybe with one of you guys, maybe not. And he just like walked in and I was like, whoa,
I
like
don't think I would recognize him.
that's the dude. It was so weird. Oh, I completely recognized him. Yeah. He's got an iconic face. Are you kidding?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't see his face that often.
Not yet. When he runs for president, you may see his face.
There Definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So voting for the first time in an election that was like important. I don't know. Is cool. It's nice to be a part of history, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like it's a
This
big one. This is a big election.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm fairly confident in saying that this had like the largest turnout of young people voting in a long time or possibly ever. So it's cool to be a part of that, and
Yeah.
hopefully, you know, as when this is published on like YouTube and stuff, hopefully, we made something happen.
Yeah. I hope that one of my favorite parts of watching the election in 2016 and like 2012, 2008 is like you actually like knew the decision by the end of 24 hours or whatever. And like the television broadcast, I just think is extremely entertaining to watch. Like that,
Yeah,
I think the Electoral College probably not the greatest thing right now. Probably not what the country needs, but it makes the election way more interesting to watch because it's a point system. But I feel like we're not going to know the decision very like I feel like we're not going to know the decision for a few days, which makes me sad. I want to like know the decision. I think that'd be interesting, but
yeah.
it's nice to vote.
Well, okay, so here's the thing with that though. That honestly, that makes me kind of more excited. And I know that's insane to say. It's like we're not
Uh-huh.
gonna know who's gonna win. But drama, like things are gonna go down the day
They
of
will go down.
today. Because what's inevitably gonna happen is Trump is going to be ahead. Because all of the people that have been voting in person, which is like 100 million people so far, like the majority of them are voting Trump, according to like polls.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
So
likely.
even if he's not winning, he'll probably declare victory. And then if he loses, if all the results start to come back and they're like, oh no, he's losing, he's just gonna be like, no, it's rigged. And then it's gonna be a legal battle to see who's gonna be the president. And it is gonna be, dude, it's gonna be dramatic. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Tyler, I feel like we probably saw the same thing because I saw that and I wanted to say something about that. How he probably will be winning according to like the in-person votes, but then when the mail votes come in, if it says it's going the other way, he's just gonna say like, no, it's mail fraud.
Yeah. And I
Mm.
mean, this isn't a surprise. Anybody who's been following what's happening knows like Trump has been saying for like the past, I don't know, like weeks and weeks, like mail voting, it's like it's corrupt and people are doing voter fraud. And so he's going to say that when he loses due to mail-in voting. And then he's going to use, the theory runs that he's going to use the Supreme Court that he just put Coney Barrett on to win the election, which isn't like super unrealistic. It's
No, I like worry about that
No, it's like
sometimes.
scary.
it's gonna be crazy.
Mhm.
Dude. I'm so pumped to see what happens. This is gonna change politics.
Yeah, like I think if Trump wins fair and square, like definitely respect the outcome there. But let's say like the mail-in votes, like I did an absentee ballot like a month before or like 3 weeks before or something. Like let's say all those come in and it's like fair, and then Joe Biden wins, and then Trump uses mail-in ballots as a reason why the election is rigged. Supreme Court, it's majority Republican. It's completely divided. So if it's like if someone says something at your party, you pretty much automatically agree. Let's say if that goes to the Supreme Court and then they say like mail-in ballots are fraud basically, then Trump wins because of that. That makes me sus. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it is a little sus, but I think with the Supreme Court it's less of a party alliance thing. Like it's slightly less intense in that sense.
Yeah,
And also
that's
like
fair.
it's still the court. Like they still like need to do proper proceedings and they can't
Mhm.
just say like, "Oh, you're right."
I
They
mean,
need
they
to like
kind of are
provide
already.
evidence.
They've already been doing stuff. Like if I didn't actually read any of it, but if you go into like the court ruling that the Supreme Courts have been making against voter or ballots being like mail-in ballots coming in after election day, they've been saying in a lot of states that they're not going to count if it gets mailed there, even though it's like, it's just the post system that's being slow, but people's votes just aren't going to count because of that.
Yeah,
And they're not like, the Supreme Court isn't like citing any major like cases before that in order to like justify making that ruling. It's not like there's legal precedent to do that. Like people's
Yeah.
votes get there late all the time and they still count. It's just usually everybody votes in person, so it doesn't matter if 0.1% of the country's votes get there late. That's why.
Usually mail-in votes don't get counted unless there's a recount, meaning like it's really close.
Mhm.
Like the Al Gore Bush
yeah,
vote
that was an
election,
interesting
there
election.
was a recount, so then they counted mail-in votes, but like the original voting results did not include absentee ballots. But this year, I think like they are going to count them. And
I
I know in
remember,
Connecticut,
yeah,
it said that it just needs to be mailed by a certain date and it will count. But I guess in other states, it has to arrive by a certain date, which is kind of sucks because it's like you can't control that.
hmm that Bush Gore election was so interesting. Like I remember, like a month ago or something, I was watching YouTube videos of like reactions from news channels when the election decisions were made and like the state calls. And I remember watching one of them for the 2000 election. And one of the earliest states they called was Al Gore getting Florida. And they made that prediction insanely early. Well, they like called it super early, but it turns out he lost. And he lost,
He
and that's the
should
reason
have
why he
won.
lost the election. So it's just,
Yeah,
it's not over till it's over, I guess. I
yeah.
don't know.
It's
Very
crazy.
interesting.
If Florida had used different ballots, Al Gore would have been president,
hmm
which is kind of crazy how influential.
I love that. That's like one of the most amazing things in history. I know it's kind of like, wow, this is really serious, but that's freaking hilarious,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that's like
It's not
funny.
a technicality. Like
It's funny.
Absolutely.
the reason
It's
being,
funny because it already happened a while ago.
Oh yeah.
for anybody that doesn't know, the reason being is the way they set up the ballot was so that Bush's name was like here, and then Gore's name was like here, and then another guy's name was like right here, but the dots were all in the middle, and people couldn't discern which dot was for which candidate. So everybody accidentally, like, I think it was only like 1,000 people or something, but they accidentally voted for the third party candidate
hmm
instead of Al Gore. And
And
those
then
extra X amount of votes are the reason that he didn't get, even though he was supposed to get. That's why he lost. And like of course,
Yeah,
like
that's just tough. I feel bad.
so Gore loses. Like that's mind blowing, you know?
it was mostly old people too, because Florida's an old people state, but like
Yeah.
specifically, it was like a district that used this. Like it was an old person district, and like the people that voted for that third person were like old people, so it's like they got extra
Yeah.
confused. Crazy.
That's crazy. I feel bad for that man. Like I don't know how well he would have been at, like how well the job he would have done as president. I know
He
that George
wouldn't have
Bush
gone
had
to
some
Iraq.
problems, but what?
He would not have gone to Iraq.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I don't know.
Whatever you
I've
want to
watched some
take
like
that as.
George Bush videos of him like giving interviews, and honestly, he seems like the nicest guy. So, I don't like to hate on anybody. So
Yeah.
just respect all around. I feel bad though. That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Also, George Bush didn't win the popular vote, so
Nope. The last time a Republican president won the popular vote was 88, and I think it was George Bush Sr.
yeah, George Bush Sr.
That's the
over
last one.
Dukakis.
But then I think when
Did
he
Bush
was
not win the popular vote in 2004?
no, I guess not.
Yeah, I don't think he did. I think Kerry got the popular vote.
Jesus.
Probably got to fact check it.
Who is it?
I don't know exactly. But
I'm gonna look it up, but
Yeah. I mean, that's just like I remember hearing something about that Poppy, and that doesn't surprise me.
During the pod.
No, actually, George Bush did win the popular vote,
Yeah.
so we gotta give the man a little bit of credit.
Oh, you know what it was? It was something like no. Well, I was wrong, but it was another thing about like the Supreme Court now has what like 6 Republicans
Hmm.
and something like they've all been appointed by presidents that didn't win the vote.
Popular vote.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So it was either like Trump from his most recent election or George Bush like from his second term because he didn't win it at that time. I guess that's the idea
Yeah.
Hmm.
of just the conservative judges.
Hmm.
You know what nobody's talking about right now is all the senators
Giraffes.
for re-election. What?
No one's talking about giraffes.
Nobody's talking about
If they were to
giraffes.
drink a cup of coffee, it'd be cold by the time it got to their stomach because their neck is so long. What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
That's crazy, dude. What was it? How would a giraffe walk into a mall? How would a giraffe walk into anywhere? There,
It's
dude.
fantasy.
That's kind of count as a handicap, honestly.
That's it's a tough one.
What was
Yeah.
it? You need to give them.
Handicaps are dictated by society because
Mhm.
they're fine where they live now, but if they lived here, they'd be handicapped.
Mhm.
What were you saying about the Senate though? That sounded interesting.
Oh, well, just like the Senate is having races right now, and it's kind of close to see who's gonna win which one. The Democrats could take the Senate, and then if they have the Senate and the House of Representatives, then whoever's the next president, if it's Biden, then he would have a really easy getting stuff done, and if it's Trump, and then the Senate is Democrats, then it's gonna be tough for him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what happens, but it's like places like Georgia, like the race is really close, For a
Mhm.
little bit, Lindsey Graham looks like he was in like a tough spot. I mean, I think he's okay now, but like some of these races are close. You wouldn't
They are
expect it.
close.
It's so exhilarating. Like I want to shout out Texas. Historically very red. Just like you think Texas, you think cowboy boots, you think oil rigs, you think guns, you think Republican. But
Mhm.
now they're like I'm not sure if they're like literally I think they are classified as like a toss-up state or like slightly red.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It's getting closer there.
Even for being slightly red, like that's crazy.
Hmm.
Do
History,
y'all
man.
remember Beto O'Rourke?
Yeah,
2016?
Beta.
O'Rourke, yeah.
What was it? Honestly, I would kind of want to see him go up against Trump. That would have been great. Like, dude, Beto's so cool.
You know who I would have liked to see? I would have liked to see Andrew Yang. I think that guy was probably the best out of all the Democrats that ran. I think he's honestly like the coolest person. He loves sports. Like he does podcasts and he was like interviewing like sports players, which I think is awesome. But he was really able to bridge the gap between Democrats and Republicans. Like he was on Fox and the Fox anchors were like, I understand where you're coming from. And that never happens. And I think the biggest problem with our country right now is how divided we are. So someone like Andrew Yang would have been able to really fix the gap there, because the only way we're going to get things done is if we all can like sort of understand each other. But yeah, I don't know. Things happened, and we're stuck with these two goofballs.
All them goofs.
All them
I
goofs.
definitely agree. Like sorry, I just had my brain just stopped working.
Yeah,
I
that's pretty
would
fair.
think like if there were like 3 candidates, one of them was like extreme right, one was extreme left, one was in the middle. That middle one would get the most votes.
Yeah,
But it's like because there's 2 parties, you need to be like super democratic to get the democratic election,
exactly.
or the nomination. And then when you're trying to, it's interesting because like they always, like politicians always get caught for like not doing what they said they would do
Hmm.
because they have to be so extreme towards their party to get nominated for the like position, and then they need to be more towards the middle to
Hmm.
try to be the president. And then once they get there, it's like they got so many other people to work with.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting.
pee poo poo check.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, yeah. Facts. I don't know. I think actually one of the most interesting things that could have an impact on this election, 2016. Let's look back at 2016. Donald Trump won. He won 304 to 227. But there were a bunch of people that, like, I honestly don't know how the process works in terms of like state delegates or like state votes or whatever. But there were a lot of people that just didn't vote that just took away the vote for like Trump or Hillary Clinton or something and just wrote in random things. So like Powell got 3 electoral votes. Spotted Eagle got an electoral vote. Paul got an electoral vote. Kasich got an electoral vote. Bernie Sanders got an electoral vote. So I think that actually could happen again on both sides. Yeah, if you look it up, like the actual like final score of the election, like it's not like the typical if every electoral college vote or whatever goes to both sides. Yeah. And the reason why is because people just did I just saw it, faithless electors. Yeah, that's what happened.
I remember Tyler and I took AP Gov together.
Yeah.
Junior year. Great time. I remember learning about how the delegates voted for the electoral college or whatever, and I remember it was like they sign in a couple states they have to sign like they will represent the majority vote. Mm-hmm. But in some they don't have to. The idea is like they listen to the people, but like they are in charge. Yeah. It's something like the majority vote. There's Republican delegates and Democratic delegates, and the majority vote for like the state decides which delegates vote for the electoral college, but like they don't have to vote for their party. Mm-hmm. It's something like that, and it's kind of weird because it's like, well, then aren't they just the ones? Like, I don't know. I don't think that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting.
It's a system like that's really old, and it's based on a lot of like, you know, political history, and just people don't want to change it because it's been around so long. And if you were to change it, it would have like a political impact on who gets elected, and people would be like, "Oh, you're the one changing it, so you're trying to change it so that your party can do it better," and it'd just be a lot of work. So, yeah. I mean, like, it'd be better if we didn't have it, but
yeah, I think it's. Yeah. I remember the reason why they had it was so that people from like rural parts of the country weren't left out of the election, because I think back in time, it's like if we didn't have the electoral college, then pretty much all the people running would focus on places like New York City and like Chicago and just like Washington, D.C., places with a lot of population. So I sort of think it's fair. And it's like, I don't want people from like Montana or whatever to be left out because, you know, Montana, you know, great place. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't mind it getting taken away, but I honestly just don't know enough about it to really like have a true opinion. I just think it's more interesting to watch on TV.
But the thing with that though is, like, I keep seeing these things like, oh, if we got rid of the electoral college, then these states would decide the election. It's like, well, if it was just a popular vote, the states don't matter, so that doesn't.
Yeah, the
make
states don't
sense.
really matter.
And then you could like see the argument of like, so, like New York City, you're not going to make Republican. So then you could just like generally campaign to like the Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe you'd have like a rally here or there, but you know, you're not just talking about like, hey, Montanans. You can be like people in this area, and it would still kind of work.
Yeah, I have this thought, and I don't think it would make any sense in real life, but I wouldn't mind the electoral college staying, but like a certain amount of points going to whoever wins the popular vote, just so that it's less likely that someone that doesn't win the popular vote like wins the election. Because like,
interesting idea.
I don't know, that's a little sus. I feel like maybe in like a certain circumstance it can make sense, like if the electoral college is a blowout, but I don't know. It's just interesting.
I agree. It's definitely interesting.
It's definitely interesting.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the other thing y'all were saying before, like some electoral votes go to like random people. People also are allowed to write in, like when like I'm allowed to vote for whoever I want for president. So every year, like Mickey Mouse gets like a bunch of votes for president.
Donald Duck.
Well,
I don't
they're
know.
good candidates. I feel like you can't really, get upset about that. D's nuts in North Carolina had like 9% of the vote or something. Like it's stuff
That's
like that
funny.
that just really makes you happy. EDP 445, I think, is going to be a really big candidate. YouTuber out of Bakersfield, California, that just talks about the Eagles all the time and is one of the funniest YouTubers I've ever seen. Like, he has a really great campaign for president this year. I think he's going to get a lot of write-ins.
Buster
People like
Share.
that. Buster Share, you got to respect him. I'd vote for him.
My thing is like, what happens if somehow Donald Duck won a state? Like what, or like,
I, th-
or what
I,
if they like won the election?
I think that would be awesome. I think what would happen there is the person that dresses up as Donald Duck at Disney World would then take the election,
Yeah,
would take the presidential spot. But the thing is, in order to make it the most realistic thing as possible, he would have to wear the Donald Duck costume every day in office, and he
That's what
wouldn't
I
be
was
able
gonna
to take it
say.
off.
You can't take it off.
You can't take it off, man.
wait, I was looking at 538, and because Tyler, you were right. The Senate is like slightly favored to go blue, which is interesting.
We'll see. Yeah.
It's slightly favored like expectation to go blue, but the House is like it says there's like in 97 out of 100 scenarios, Democrats win control, which
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
mean
I
it's
saw that today as well.
97% likely, but it's still like pretty likely.
Well,
And
I mean, that's just
it's not blue right now, so I just
the,
think that's kind of interesting.
the House of Representatives. No, I think it is blue right now.
No. Oh, it
I
is
think
blue
one
right
of the
now.
two is blue.
You're right. It's
The
blue
House
right
is
now.
blue right now. It's gonna stay blue. There's nothing really going on there.
My bad. I'm a silly guy.
It's okay. I don't know. One of the things that like we really wanted to say in this podcast is our like predictions for exactly what the score is going
Yeah.
to be like. What are y'all thinking about that?
Okay, so I mean, most of the states are pretty obvious, and you just kind of see and know. Like a lot of it is like, oh, I wonder where we're all in school in Massachusetts. I wonder which way Massachusetts could go. Spoiler alert, it's gonna go Democratic.
It's gonna go
Like
Donald Duck.
Alabama is gonna go to Trump. There's no stopping that. But there
Well,
are a few
Todd.
states here that it's like, like we could really pick either one. You don't know. Florida, we'll see.
The swing states, as the kids call it.
Yeah, that's what only kids call
That's the one.
it.
Oh, is it? So I don't know. There are a few key states here that if Trump can't win, it's pretty much over.
Yeah.
If Trump can't win Florida, then Biden's pretty much almost guaranteed to take the election. Same thing with, I think, North Carolina, I believe. But
Well, the swing states in general are Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan.
And
Yeah.
Ohio.
those
Did
two,
you say Ohio?
North Carolina,
Oh, is it Ohio?
Florida.
Yeah, Ohio is one of them.
Who is it? No, but those two specifically, North Carolina and Florida, those are guaranteed swing states. And more importantly, political pundits suggest that if you look and if on, November 4th, they're like, oh yeah, Biden has definitely won Florida, then it's virtually game over. I don't know the math. I'm not going to pretend to know
Yeah.
how it works, but that's what people say, and I trust the people.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep an eye on those. But until then, what are you guys thinking for the 8 or so swing states? How's it gonna pan
Yeah, I think
baby.
I think that I think Joe Biden is going to win. I think it's going to be extremely close. I think that he will get the popular vote by a pretty good margin. But my final score would be 280 to 258 for Joe Biden. Me and my friends were talking about this, and one of them, Brian McCaffrey, BMAC, he's just he's a great political figure in the state of Massachusetts. He said that pretty much if Joe Biden wins Pennsylvania, the election is pretty much over. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, he has a very good chance of winning. And I actually agree with that. I think that in terms of the swing states, the only changes I see are Biden wins Arizona, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I don't think Joe Biden has any chance in Florida just because of the way Florida is handling the coronavirus. I just think that favors Trump. I don't think Biden can get states like Texas or Georgia or like North Carolina. I think Ohio is pretty safe for Trump. I think Wisconsin's pretty safe for Trump, but that's not me. That's just me not trusting the polls. I don't know if I believe them, but I don't know. I think Biden has a good chance in Pennsylvania, and that will sort of steer him to the right direction. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. There's definitely going to be some. There's definitely going to be some faithless electors. Bernie Sanders probably going to get some votes. Brian McCaffrey's got to get 1 or 2 votes. My guy BMAC. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I want to see Andrew Yang. I want to see some John Kasich in there getting some votes. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bernie Sanders will get votes just because I think the electors understand that if they go from Biden to Sanders and how close this race is, they know that actually is like Trump a better.
Well, I
like
think
a better chance.
I think they're going to go from like a state like Texas. Texas had 2 of them for 2 of the faithless electors. I think Sanders would get something in a state like that where to
I could
go
see
from
that.
Trump to like pretty much neutral at that point.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And in my prediction, I think it's like pretty similar to yours, where Biden gets Arizona, Minnesota, Michigan, and then I gave him Wisconsin because I don't know a lot, so I kind of just trusted the polls for that. And then I think Trump's gonna get Florida. Yeah, it's just like that's historically.
Yeah.
I think they went for him last time.
Yeah, yours is 270 to 268, right?
Yeah. In my prediction, I left Texas as a toss-up just out of respect for the work they're doing. But it'll probably go red, which means that Biden would win 270 to 268, which is obviously literally as close as you can make it.
Yeah.
But I agree with your thing about I think Biden might pull away with a popular vote.
Yeah.
But not, hopefully the electoral vote too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I have a lot of similar predictions. I think all the northern states that you said, the factory states with the cars and stuff, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, those are all gonna go blue. And then I see Ohio going blue, which you didn't put. And
I see it red.
I think Biden's gonna win in both of those states, and I think that'll pretty much clinch it at that point. Although, like you guys said, I think Florida's gonna go to Trump. North Carolina will probably go to Trump. Although it'd be cool if one of those states go to Biden. That'd be
a clincher, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zona is gonna go to Biden as well. But I mean, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, all these states are close enough so that it's like it could go either way. It's exciting for sure.
Yeah.
I see in yours you got Nebraska and South Dakota going for Joe Biden. I think that's a little sus.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I think I didn't realize that those are. What was it?
Hey, respect, but
I accidentally clicked those in wrong, especially because Nebraska has multiple electoral votes that can go different ways. So.
Yeah.
In mine, I have Maine getting 1 for Trump, and in Nebraska, I have 1 going for Biden. I remember Obama got 1 in Nebraska for both of the elections. I think that could be incorrect, but I remember seeing at some point he got something from Alaska. I know Trump got something in Maine last election. I think he's going to stay with that as well. Like Maine, the more north you go, the more Republican it gets. It's the same with New Hampshire. It's just not the same with Vermont. Vermont's different, but New England's weird. The more north you get, the more Republican it gets, as opposed to the rest of the country. The more south you get, the more Republican it gets. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch on television. That's pretty much it.
Dude, now's a good time to get into politics. Politics kind of suck 90% of the time. But if there's any time to start following it consistently, like not even before this. Before this, it was already pretty interesting. But if you weren't into it before it, now is the time. After
it's interesting.
It's gonna be fascinating. I don't know. It's gonna be cool, groundbreaking stuff. I have the New York Times daily briefing. They send me an email 6 days a week, letting me know what's going on. It's a peek in on everything.
Yeah, it's tough that it's not 7. I don't know what you're doing the other day. You know what I mean? It's just tough.
Taking a mental break, honestly.
Just taking a mental break, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Shout out to my mom. 2016 election, it was very interesting watching her for. I know she's leaning one side over the other, and I sort of just hope that her side wins, just so that she's happy. Because I don't know, it's intense. Yeah.
I agree. We do it for the moms.
Yeah, shout out moms. I don't know.
I remember when my mom told me that the outcome of the election last time, I thought she was joking. And then I was like, really? And she's like, yep. And I could like hear the anger in her voice. And I was like, wow, she's not kidding, huh?
Yeah. I think I went to bed that night at like 1 or 2 in the morning. I didn't actually finish watching the election, but it was interesting going to school the next day, especially in liberal Westport, Connecticut.
Exactly.
Yeah, you thought
I went
somebody
to bed
died.
thinking
Oh
that
my
Hillary
goodness.
Clinton had won, and then I woke up and I Googled it, and I was like, oh, Trump won. And then I remember coming into school, and like people were so scared. Nice. People were like scared, so they didn't come into school.
Honestly, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
That was weird.
I don't know, man. He wasn't president when he got elected.
Yeah, people. I think I think people were like able to get like guidance counselor appointments to like discuss the election, like discuss their feelings and whatnot. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, you know what? Maybe things will be okay.
You know
Just
what?
like,
They needed a mental health break, like I do.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like my first period of class. It was like government or something that day.
Ha.
And that's just all we talked about. And I think I got attacked for something, but I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. We all go to pretty liberal campuses, so it's just gonna be if Trump
Really
wins, it's gonna be a riot. But
I honestly think this is just like a last prediction we'll make. If Biden wins, I think Trump supporters will riot in ways that they have recently condemned as not productive and like the opposite of what a riot is really supposed to represent, which is more of just a protest. And I think if Trump wins, there will be mostly peaceful and respectful protests by Biden supporters, and then Trump supporters will shoot them and run them over with cars like they have done in the past. So I think either way, bad stuff will happen, and it's going to be the same people's fault either way. That's just my pessimistic.
it's a fair take.
What was it? Here's the statistically, what was it? Conservative-minded people are responsible for over 90% of political violence in the United States. So let's just hope that whatever happens, it doesn't result in that much anger from their side, which I guess would mean Trump winning. So
it also would mean their supporter condemning violence, but you know what? Maybe next year.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Don't riot. If you're listening to this, don't do it. It's not worth it.
I predict some anger is going to happen no matter the outcome.
No matter what.
Sorry if it's like a wild prediction, but just want to say it.
What's the quote? Stand ready and stand by.
Stand back and stand by.
Stand back and stand by, baby.
It's gonna be interesting.
Also just want to quickly shout out 2048. 538. That's awkward. I said the wrong game. Who got a lot of slack last time for predicting Hillary would win and then losing, but people didn't understand statistics because if they said it's a 99% chance, that's not them saying it's going to happen. It's just saying it's likely. But they something like they sampled like 100 of their 40,000 different elections, and 89 of those 100 of Biden winning. So here's hoping.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens.
I think
everybody keeps saying like don't trust the polls, bro. I'm pretty sure they adjusted after last year. I'm pretty sure the polls are a little more accurate now. Yeah, and I think it's okay to trust them. And
I'd rather trust the polls than just my own butt.
Yeah.
Prepare for Biden to win because that's what the polls are saying. He'll probably win, and that was me knocking on wood. And I don't know. So is it maybe he won't, but he probably will. And when he does, don't be surprised.
I don't know. I don't know if I trust the polls anymore. I don't know. I just feel like the silent majority, like Trump supporters, they call it like the silent majority. I feel like they're just not saying like what they're actually thinking. So honestly, like if I see a poll and like Biden's up by +3, I'm like, all right, I think that's going to go Trump, like a 5-point difference. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. But if they did some, if they did some work to fix the polls a little bit after the last election, I think it's a pretty good job that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good initiative.
I trust science. And
Trust science.
that's
Yeah,
what
That's weird.
unfortunately, not enough people do for some reason.
science.
You know what? Hope for the best, expect the worst. And
Yeah.
thank you for liking and watching
And listening to our
and drinking chalky milk along with
Absolutely.
us.
Just drinking chocolate milk with the boys. It'll be interesting to like if the elections decide like if they have an like idea of who's going to win or whatnot by the time this gets uploaded. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where we were right, where we were wrong. I think that, Tyler's opinion of South Dakota going blue, I think that's a very interesting prediction. I think we may not see that happen, but it'll be interesting to see if it happens.
Dude, nobody talks about East Dakota though. Where is East Dakota gonna go?
Yeah, East Dakota, I don't know if that counts.
I don't know. I think it's going to the Green Party. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's going green. You think it's going Jill
I
Stein?
think it's going
Respect.
green.
Yellow party.
Jorgensen.
Bring back Gary Johnson.
Bring back Ross Perot.
what's
He got like
Aleppo?
20% or something one time.
Ross Perot.
Yeah, Ross Perot.
Yeah.
He was a great third party candidate.
Yeah.
If he was in this election, like a Ross Perot type guy, he'd probably be getting a lot of votes right now.
Probably, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for listening along with us.
Yeah. Listen on Spotify, listen on YouTube, listen to just, what's going on. Follow us on Instagram. We've just been producing content nonstop. We're getting to the point where, we're becoming billionaires because of the podcast. So, we're just really excited about it. But I don't know. We're just looking forward to bringing out more content for the people.
Yeah. Dude, next week we will be showing off our new multi-million-dollar mansion in the Hills, our new TikTok app.
Yes. And we're all about to drop out of school because it's just not worth it at this point.
We're still just going to do the
Support our
podcast over Zoom, though, with our regular microphones. We're not going to get an upgraded podcast set.
And my headphones because my mic broke.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nobody ever watches this far. So if you do, can you actually
shout out to my
comment
mom
something?
and
let us know.
Yeah. I think it's just my mom and maybe my dad and maybe your guys' moms and dads.
No, my mom just watched us review chocolate milk and then she was like, it's good.
Like, that's fair,
that's
honestly.
That's respect.
Most of my friends that are subscribers to Choccy Milk Gang, they're like, yeah, I watched like 3 minutes. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's why we.
That's good. You get to see one
Choccy
Choccy Milk review and then you just go back to your work.
Yeah. Thanks for making it this far.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We're going to wrap it up now before you decide to click off.
Yeah.
Quick, do the thing, Shima.
All right. Hey, well, till next time. See ya.